YouTubers, OFD checking in here. So I had a private email, and I've also had a couple requests in the comments below on some of my videos about simple things. I say simple things, but sometimes things that are very simple to us watch enthusiasts aren't so necessarily so simple to people that are catching a video out there. So I thought I would just take the time to show a couple of really quick and easy things that I do as far as removing my bands on my watches, how I do that. As far as my waterproof watches, and this is only my waterproof watches, how I clean them. I work outdoors in the forest a lot, so I get dirty and sweaty and stuff like that. So generally every day I have to do something to kind of clean my watches off at the end of the day. And then also somebody asked me about removing case back and possibly battery replacement. So I just kind of mishmash some videos together on doing that. I want to let you know, guys, know that I'm not a professional at this. This is something I just do for myself as a hobby. So, as far as the video goes, if I'm doing something wrong or a little off, it's because I'm not a professional at this. So don't fault me for that. It's just when you have a lot of watches, you kind of got to learn how to work on your watches. You're going to spend a fortune paying for it all. So I'm going to go ahead and run the introduction and do a real quick little wrist check. It's a Sunday afternoon here in California, and I'm wearing my little version 1 of the Orient Bambino. So I absolutely love this watch. It's a great little watch to wear around the house on a Sunday. After I've done all my rough stuff, I'm going to sit around and watch baseball probably for a lot of the day, and so I'm wearing the Bambino. So I hope you guys like this video. I'm going to run a quick little introduction, then we'll jump into the three parts of the video. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. My viewers asked me the other day to do a video on how I clean my watches. So this is a waterproof watch, 200-meter water resistance. This is the Vostok Amphibia. I've been outside doing a lot of yard work, so a lot of perspiration and sweat. You get perspiration and sweat on this case back. It can actually get underneath into the corners down in there, and underneath your bezel, dust, dirt from doing yard work. So with a waterproof watch like this, anytime I do any kind of heavy work, take it swimming, take it in salt water, anything like that, come home, get your fresh water running. I make sure to give it a little rub. Always make sure your crown is closed, of course. I get my bezel under the water and I turn it with fresh water running over it. Okay. Give the watch a good rinse. Make sure you get all the salt out of the band. I always give my wrist a rinse at the same time. And then really, as simple as that, that's really all you need to worry about on like these waterproof watches like this. So always fresh water. It'll keep them nice and clean. Try to avoid soaps or solvents, especially solvents. If you ever do, let's say you get something really grimy or sticky on your watch, it doesn't hurt to just use a little teeny bit of like dish soap or something like that. It's not going to hurt. So anyways, just a real quick video on how to clean your watch after you've been working outside or swimming in a chlorinated pool or in the ocean. All right. Okay guys, this is going to be another quick how-to video, and one of my great viewers, Torgo Max, had asked about this a couple different times, so I want to try and help him out. This is the tool you're going to use here, and hopefully you guys can see the tip of this. It has a very fine little V in the tip of the tool, and that's going to go in between the case and the band here and actually remove the pin from this watch. So if you have a watch with drilled lugs, it's a lot easier. You'll actually just basically take and put the round end or a toothpick or whatever through the hole in the lug. You can push it in, it'll release the spring bar on the watch. You can take it out, and then you can put a new one in. Now when you're putting a new one in, you may want a tool for doing that. I'm actually able to use my fingernails every once in a while for that. So let's go ahead, and what I'll do is I'll take the little V in, and I'm going to insert it in between the band and the lug here. Okay. Now we're just going to try, what we're doing is we're trying to put pressure on this spring bar to release the spring from the hole in the lug. So I'm going to go ahead and get it on there. I can just feel where it kind of slips onto the end of the pin, and I push forward just a little bit, and boom, it releases that like that. Very quick, very easy. Okay, so if I can get it up here close enough for you guys to see the pins, but basically you need to get this into the V hooked onto this piece of the bar and pull it back from the case. This one's not going to move, obviously, because it's in the lug on the other side. So pretty simple procedure. These tools you can pick up online for anywhere from $3 to $12 to $15 or more, and of course, you know, the more you pay, the better. Woo! There goes mine. The better product you get. So, and actually, to put this back on here, you would go ahead and set that in there. And then, since my tool fell on the floor, I'm going to use this small screwdriver. You can also use these to remove the band. They don't work quite as well, but it does work pretty easily. So I just need to push the pin back in to compress it so it'll fit into the lug. And it's in there. You just want to wiggle it around real gently until you hear it click into the hole in the lug. So let's see, there we go. It just made the click. So anyways, just a quick video on how to remove a band from a watch. Hopefully this helps. And honestly, guys, there's a lot of other videos out there on how to do this. So I would suggest kind of looking around at all the different ideas. So anyways. Okay, here we go. I had somebody else ask me a quick question about doing some battery changes on a watch. Now, a lot of battery or watches that have batteries, quartz watches, have a pop-on case back. It's a snap-on, I guess you'd call it a snap-on case back or whatever, but they'll basically usually have a little tab on the back of the case back, say on a corner over here, and with those type you're able to take a tool like this, even a dull butter knife or something like that. You can usually put them right under the edge of the case where you see that slight opening and pry up, and those case backs usually pop right off, no problem. Now, to be honest with you, right now I don't have a quartz watch with a pop-off case back. I have done that for people before, but I don't happen to have one right now. What I do have is I have this fossil watch. This is an older model we've had sitting around the house. We have lots of watches sitting around the house, as you might expect. And this has a screw-down case back. This is a quartz watch. So what I'm going to do is just really quickly show you how to get a screw-down case back off. Now, there are some tools you need, or at least I believe you need. I've heard and seen that other people do this in other ways, but there's a lot more chance of damaging your watch or the case back on your watch. Now, what I have here, and I'll just do this real quick and show you, I have a tool kit that I purchased from Amazon. This was about $23. It came with a case back removal tool. It came with the watch, the case holder. It's got a number of screwdrivers, the pop-off back, some tweezers. This is a pin pusher for pins and bands. So it's kind of a handy set to have around for like $23. It has, you know, your watch band tool and everything like that. So definitely something to think about. So the first thing I'm going to do, and hopefully my camera can focus through this procedure, is I'm going to go ahead and set this in here. I always put the crown in this little V on the side over here, and then you want to tighten down your case with the screw on the side here till it's nice and snug in there. Now, I have already taken the liberty real quickly of adjusting the tool. There are different bits that can go in here. This has 3 different positioning. It tends to work better for me if I just get 2 locked in across from each other, and it makes it easier to get the case back off. So what I do is I usually will just, and I've already adjusted this to fit this case back. So you've got the notches you can see in the case back all the way around the side. So what you want to do is you want to get this in one of the notches and this one in a notch directly across from it. Okay, so gently I do that, trying not to scratch the case back in the process. So I've got them in there. Now, a lot of times you're going to want to try to turn the tool, but what I do is I will grab the holder and the tool at the same time and twist away from each other. And it takes it just a second, but you'll see that case back start to turn. Oops, that shouldn't have happened. I shouldn't have slipped like that. A little too much pressure I was putting on it. So you want to be gentle there. So now that the case back is loose, and let me see if I can get it to focus here. I'm going to go ahead and get out my tweezers. And this just makes it a little bit easier to get this off without causing any kind of a problem. So you can take and spin your case back that way, being gentle, being careful not to scrape it. There is a case back seal under there that you'd rather not try to jam it up. Okay, so it just popped loose. I'll use one finger to hold it and try to get under the edge of it. I don't want to stick the tool inside the watch to damage any of the electronic components in there. And they do make plastic tweezers sometimes that are better for working on a mechanical or on a quartz watch like that. So here's the inside of the quartz watch. As you can see it, the quartz movement here, and here you have the battery. So it's as simple as lifting up this tab here, this plastic tab, and getting your battery out, okay? So I'm actually, let me see. All right, let's see how we do this here. So I'm going to use my metal tweezers, being extremely careful to get them underneath. There's the holder coming up, okay. So you want to pull this holder out. This is kind of a movement holder that's keeping it in place there. So now once that's out, you can actually see the battery there and get to that. Now what I'll usually use, and this is probably bad, I don't have any gloves on, but usually if I'm wearing rubber gloves, I will come up underneath the battery here and hold the plastic holder there, and you can pop that battery right out, okay? And yeah, I shouldn't touch both sides of the battery at the same time, but I did, okay? So say this battery was bad, I would replace it. I'm gonna bring my new one in. I'm gonna go ahead and insert it down in there. I will take my my holder, my case holder, or I'm sorry, my movement holder, and that also has that battery holder that holds the battery down inside of there when the case back is screwed down. Okay, so now we've replaced the battery. Very gently, like I'm going to set that case back on there, and I'm going to try to get it started with my fingers here. And hopefully I don't have anything sticking up in there strange that shouldn't be. Yeah, I might. Here, let me make sure that that's down all the way. There it goes. There it goes. It wasn't set down inside the watch all the way. And as you guys can see here on this little edge, if you can see the black, that's your case back seal. And you really want to make sure that that's looking pretty good before you stick it back on. This is a low water resistance watch, so not really a big deal. Now this is a quartz watch, so dust and stuff isn't going to really hurt it. It's a cheap, inexpensive watch, but it wouldn't hurt if you have a blower or something like that before you put this case back on, that you actually blow that movement off just to make sure any dust particles or hairs or anything else like that didn't get in there while you had it open. So you're going to take your case back and gently screw it back on. You'll feel the threads start to catch. This one just caught. Okay, and so it's just basically just the opposite. I'm going to take the tool again. I'm going to mount it on here, and I'm going to turn it in the opposite direction. And a case back, this does not need to be like He-Man snug down, okay? You guys just get this tight, and you don't want to get to where you got it so tight you shear that seal on there or anything like that. It should just be tight enough that you know when you go to undo it next time, it's not going to be a bear to get it undone. Okay, so real quick, like that can be as quick as it is to change a battery in a watch. Now if you're not comfortable with doing stuff like that, I can tell you guys that a lot of the battery stores and stuff will do changes on watches, but as far as how careful they're going to be with your seals and everything else like that, I would avoid that and take it to an actual jeweler, especially if you have a waterproof anything like a 200-meter waterproof watch. You should really be taking that to a jeweler, so that they are very careful when they're doing the change and the seals and stuff like that. So anyways, that's another video. So thanks guys.